To the special public meeting of April 23rd, 2020 of the Township of Washington Township Council. Adequate notice of the meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by Township Clerk to at least 2 newspapers on April 17, 2020, and this notice has been posted on the Township Bulletin Board and on the Township website. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag,
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and for all.
for all. We'll get it right once.
Yeah, eventually. Okay. Do roll call.
Councilman Casio. Councilman Casio.
Here.
Councilman Cumming.
Here.
Councilman DeSena.
Here.
Councilwoman Morgan.
Here.
Council President Feeney.
Here. Let the record also reflect in attendance via remote call is Mayor Peter Calamari, Town Administrator Robert Tovo, and Township Clerk Sue Wachowski. Okay, approval of meeting minutes, none. Okay, we're going to open up the public discussion. To participate in the general public discussion portion of the meeting, please dial in 201-664-4659. You'll be asked to state your name and address for the record, and we ask that only one person speak at a time. Please note that at the end of the general public discussion, no more calls will be accepted, and the limit is 5 minutes. Motion to open public discussion.
So moved.
So moved.
So I need a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's open the calls. Didn't like that one. Hold on. 602. Hello? Hello? Is anybody there?
Yes, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Would you please state your name and address?
Michael Ullman, 2 Clark Avenue.
Yes, Mr. Ullman.
I had a question or a follow-up. I believe it was 2 meetings ago. I had inquired about the pension expense and how it was captured in the budget. And I was told that a response was due tonight, and was wondering what that is.
So we actually just received the revised numbers, and I don't think we got them late today. So it would probably be answered tonight during the budget section. I can't answer you right this second.
So we don't know if it was included previously.
So like I said, we just got the revised information a little while ago. So that's why I don't have an answer for you right this second. We haven't got a chance to look at it or go over it yet.
Okay. Can the administration detail any efforts they've undertaken to reduce expenses in light of the COVID-19 pandemic? Have we taken any positive action to reduce discretionary expenses?
Well, I know there's been an increase in other expenses due to the pandemic, like emergency management. I think we would have to get back to you on that. Mr. Tovo, would you say that's a fair assessment?
I would, yes.
So the assessment is other expenses have gone up, and we don't know if we've done anything to control any discretionary expenses.
I said, as of right now, I said we do know that emergency management expenses have gone up due to the pandemic for safety equipment. I said, and I think that Mr. Tovo would have to get back to us on that to see where other expenses have been cut or not used.
Well, I guess I don't need a specific number. I mean, can they speak to any approach they've taken to discretionary expenses?
Mr. Tovo, I'm going to defer to you on that one.
We have a few items tonight we're going to discuss where we are recommending a reduction in the amount recommended by administration, and much of that is due to the current circumstances.
And can you expand on what those are?
I think it'd be more appropriate to address that with council first.
Do you know what line items they are?
Ms. Fee, would you like to answer this or discuss it with the council as we...
Mr. Ullman, I think this is going to be discussed during the budget section, so I think it's, that would probably be the most beneficial time to have those brought to light. So,
With all due respect, Ms. Feeney, I don't believe I'm asking very difficult questions.
I didn't say you were.
Well, I think I am, or it appears I am, because I've yet to get an
You
answer.
just said you
to
weren't
what
asking
I've
difficult
asked.
questions. I just said that this is going to be directed during our. He's saying that they have taken several lines, but obviously it's going to take longer than 5 minutes, and it's going to be discussed during tonight's meeting. And I said maybe it would be beneficial to go over it during then. I didn't say no. I didn't tell you no. I didn't say your questions were difficult. I just gave my opinion as it was asked for, as Mr. Turbo said.
Well, I just can't get an answer.
Well, I didn't say you wouldn't get an answer. I just said I'm not going to go back and forth with you, Mr. Ullman.
Has the administration taken any steps? I know that the household debris is, the lawn debris is being picked up, but the household garbage or I guess the special pickups have been deferred. Given that everyone is home and probably doing the same thing that my wife and I are doing in terms of cleaning up and culling, are there any plans to, once it does come back online, to accelerate it or to create any special pickups, or has that been envisioned at this point?
Mr. Turbo, do you have any information regarding the future of the white and the bulk pickup?
Yeah, it's our intention to restart the program as soon as we can, and it'll certainly be all hands on deck to the extent that it can be once we're able to resume. Keep in mind that in all likelihood, once we can resume, we're also going to be into our field season with cutting and maintaining all of that. So we're going to have to, juggle some things, but clearly it's a priority of ours to get back to the collection. With staggered shift work right now, just not enough manpower on any given day.
Mr. Turbo, maybe as a suggestion, could you find out from the county if there's a place people can take stuff right now on their own if they have too much and they can't wait?
I can do that.
Okay, and we could put that up on the website. That'd be great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, is there anybody else on the line?
No, hold on. Hello?
Okay,
Hold on, wait, Stacy, hold on. Is there somebody on the line? I hear a dog barking.
okay. Motion to close public discussion?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think that was my dog.
Oh, okay. I heard a puppy, a little doggy.
Yeah, it's my guy.
Okay, just, I forgot to do, Sue, did you resend me the PSA or no, not for tonight?
No, not for tonight. We'll have one probably there might be one Tuesday.
Okay,
I didn't want to overdo with the same stuff.
no, that's fine, okay. Hold on, I just want to pull my email, hold 1 second. Okay, so this evening we've kind of, we're at the point in the budget where we need to go back to the things that are open. Okay, the first thing I did want to start with to get out of the way was the salaries for the DMF, I believe it's supervisor. I just want to get the official name. The DMF supervisor, and I believe the administration has a decision on which direction they're going in. Or we're supposed to today, or? So it's the supervisor was open and in question.
And I'm sorry, Stacy, you said a decision on what?
I'm the DMF supervisor.
Thank you. Some papers were moving.
Yeah, are we referring to the superintendent salary
Superintendents are.
on page 45?
Maybe on my names it just says DMF super, so I wasn't sure if it was supervisor, superintendent, or so if I'm saying the wrong title, let me know.
Yeah, well, DMF super would be short for superintendent. We have not made a decision as of yet. Our request was to fund it so that if we choose to make that a permanent position during the course of this year, we have...
Well, I think that's what I'm referring to. Like it was left open because you weren't sure what direction you were going in.
Yeah, I can't say we've had the opportunity to evaluate that based on our current inability to really see the full functionality.
Oh, okay, my mistake. Okay, so that's still open then.
It doesn't need to be open. We can fund it with the caveat that if we choose to make the promotion, the funding is there, and if we don't, there would be no increase. We'd have to come back to council in order to do that.
Okay, so you're asking for $85,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Stacy,
I have
can
a
you give me a
question.
page and line number, please?
Sure, we're on page. Well, first we're on page 45, and it would be.
Third from the bottom.
290, 190.
Got it.
I have a question. It went up in 2017 from 53.7 to 75.
Desiree, you're going in and out. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have a very
No, I'm
short
sorry.
cord here. That's all right. I just want to make sure I understand. So in 2017, what were those hours? It was 53,700, and then in 2018 it went to 75.9. What happened there, so that I can understand why we're increasing it again to 10? I understand it's going to be permanent, but
It's going to be a promotion, actually. Well, it says that's what I don't understand. Also, so it says DMF superintendent, and then I know you're talking about a promotion. So currently, the permanent superintendent, because you only have an interim superintendent.
Acting superintendent.
You have an acting superintendent. Okay.
so what were they when they were making 53,000?
No certificate.
Oh, no certificate. Okay.
Okay. So then 75 was market value at that time for somebody with a certificate?
From my memory, yes.
Okay, so then the $10,000 increase is because they would go from acting to permanent?
Correct.
Is he doing
But he's
more
had his license.
as a permanent?
Mr. Solo, he's had his license all the years, right?
Are you asking me that, Mr. DeSena?
Yes, as acting, he's had his license, and as permanent, he would have his license, correct?
Correct.
Was the same person in this position for the 53 as the 75, or was it two different people?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't here.
Oh,
The
okay.
same.
I recollect it's the same person.
It's the same person, Stacy.
Okay.
Yeah, and part of that increase was to bring it up to market. I mean, 53 for a superintendent was extremely on the low side.
But he didn't have his certificate at that time?
Correct, both factors.
Right, okay.
But he's also the acting foreman also, we have to remember.
He's not the acting foreman. He is the foreman.
I'm sorry, he's the foreman.
He's just doing
Okay, so
the
he's the
additional
foreman,
duties
and
of the
on top of that-
superintendent because we don't have one right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we do
That's
have
the
one. He
missing
is our
position.
superintendent.
Well, no, but I mean, his title is foreman, and he's doing the job of the superintendent in the meantime.
No, his title is superintendent and foreman. He has both titles right now, Stacy.
Okay.
That's what she-
Said both titles.
I was foreman, acting superintendent.
Since when? Since when in this budget area? When he started making 75,000?
Yeah, in 2018 he took over. Well, he was acting when I came here in 2018.
And he will remain the foreman and the permanent superintendent?
No, a new foreman would be named to replace that position.
Why would we need to add two foremen, Mr. Tovo? That's what I don't
Right.
understand in the next line.
As we discussed, we would like to break the DMF into a more effective work unit by having two different work crews headed by two separate foremen.
So we've got all these years with the same person doing the job,
Right.
the same job, but now we're going to promote two people to do the job that the same person has done all these years.
I think the point Mr. Tovo is trying to make is that, yes, Councilman DeSena, you are correct that it's been this way all these years, and sometimes maybe that's not the right decision. What he's saying is that to make the DMF more effective, his recommendation, and I guess in talking with the staff or whoever's going to be in charge, is to have two foremen responsible for two teams then. I don't think somebody's trying to say we have to promote two people. I think he's trying to say that in order to make it a more effective department, this is their recommendation.
And currently, people are working in these positions without the title and without the compensation for it.
And if you recall the past couple of years, we've added a few workers to the department, so now it makes sense to break them up into two separate crews. We didn't have enough people to do that in the past.
Mike,
why
does
do
any
we
other
promote-
municipality you know have two foremen?
Some have multiple foremen, but most of them are three times the size of ours. So that's what I'm, right now, Mr. Tovo, how many employees do we have in the DPW, including the acting superintendent foreman?
I believe 10.
10, thank you.
And don't forget our seasonals, that number can vary.
Two foremen.
What does that put us up to, 13, 12, 13?
Ideally, we try to get at least 3 seasonals. That's been on the lower side over the last year or so. Obviously, because of current conditions, we're seeing more applicants for those positions.
I just think, a department that's run with, the same person doing both jobs all these years.
Well, they want to change that, but that's the plan, is to make somebody the full-time superintendent, right, and then have two foremen. So they are working to try to change the structure. We can't knock them for trying to change the structure.
I know, it's a lot of money, that's all.
Well, how is it a lot of money when we've already approved the foreman and
No, the foreman's on hold too, Stacy. We didn't approve foreman stipends.
No,
it's
it is approved. It's not on the open list.
I have it as we skipped it
I have it as we skipped it, Stacy. It's still open. We haven't approved that.
because we weren't sure what was happening with the superintendent. His
I thought we did the one,
open,
didn't do the additional.
Yeah, both the
Yeah.
190 and 191 are open, Stacy, in my book.
Right, yeah.
Desiree's agreeing with me, I think.
I know, but we'll have to check the notes on that because I have one approved and one open depending upon what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of them approved and one of them not.
If we can just clarify, the acting superintendent is doing the work of the superintendent. His title is foreman. His duties there have been farmed out to other employees. So you really can't say that person is doing both jobs.
But Mr. Tovo, he's receiving the money for the foreman stipend, correct?
He is, because that's still his official title.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is.
So contractually, he's owed that money.
So going forward, though, he won't get the foreman stipend because he will only get the superintendent's salary.
Correct.
So there will be no stipend for him. He's not getting both in the future with him becoming permanent superintendent. It will just be his salary.
Correct.
Don't even, let's not even talk about the form. Let's talk about the superintendent. Why are we giving them a $10,000 jump? Because we're
Why
changing
can't he
it
get
from an active to a
5.5%
permanent?
jump? Yeah.
Because me, if I'm working somewhere temporarily and they hire me at the same rate of pay, I wouldn't get a $10,000 jump.
Well,
For the same job, why is it $10,000 more? That's a lot of money. That's a huge jump. That's 10 grand for doing the same job he's been doing for 1, 2, 3, 4 years.
Okay, well, market value for this position in Bergen County is over $100,000.
I don't care what anyone else's position is. That's not my concern. My concern is...
No, you can't say that. We measure ourselves against other towns all the time.
Mayor, I'm telling you right now, this is my opinion. He got paid. He got a nice jump back from 17 to 18, okay? And he's going up just like everyone else with a 1.5%. I don't see any justification to give him an extra $10,000 for doing the same job. And he's actually doing less now because he won't be a foreman. So that's my opinion. So my recommendation is to give him 1.5% over 76186. It doesn't justify this cost.
So you want him to lose money because he lose the foreman stipend.
It doesn't justify the cost to me.
So you want him to lose money because he lose the foreman stipend.
And his overtime.
Hey, he doesn't have the job anymore. He's not losing money. He's doing less.
why is he doing less? I don't understand why he's doing less.
Is he the foreman?
Well, no, but it sounds like he's handling. There's still a giant responsibility with superintendent. It's not like it's the job.
He's the superintendent now, Stacy.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. You have to stop saying that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is it's not like he's going to be doing that. I mean...
If I have two jobs, I'm a foreman and a superintendent, and now I don't have the foreman
But you're still responsible for a very large department.
Wait, it has to be one at a time, please.
Very closed-minded.
I'm as closed-minded as it comes, yes, that's correct.
Okay, let's try to work together to get this done.
That's how I see it, so that's my recommendation.
The guy's never going to take the promotion if that's the case. He's going to lose overtime and his stipend, and then so we're going to be out trying to hire somebody for hire.
Is he leaving?
Well, he's certified, so he certainly can.
He was certified before. He could have left before.
Well, I think he's been hoping he would be made permanent here.
And we know for sure that market on here is 100,000. We know that for sure. That's not.
That's
that correct,
the New
Silva?
Jersey League of Municipalities Salary Survey 2017. Probably higher now.
So at the salary you'll be at, there's no overtime, there's no stipend, and it is what it is.
Correct.
And this is full-time, 40 hours a week, 2,080 hours a year.
Yes.
Mr. Silva, we've talked about separating these two positions for the 2 years that I've been on council. This is the third year we're talking about it. Do we have a definitive answer that it's going to happen? Because we went through this last year in 2019, we went through in 2018, and it stayed the same.
Well, that's not true that we went through in 2019. In 2019, the recommendation was to allow for a year of evaluation on the position.
No, we said, if you go back in the minutes, which I did, we said by June we would have had a decision in 2019, which we never got.
I don't recall that conversation at all.
I could look, I will have to send you the minutes tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we had the same discussion in 2018, and it never came to fruition because of the same reason, because of the loss of overtime.
Guess what? Okay, it's already been said like twice now. Let's move on.
I agree with Mr. DeSena.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings.
Okay, we're going to skip this for right now because if things keep going like this, I'm going to pull the meeting because it's not very productive at all and nobody's really open to any discussion. Everybody just wants to have their opinion. So if you don't want to have a discussion and you've already made up your mind, just say so.
I want to make a motion to put that line item at 78,000. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Is that 190?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Sue, can you call the roll, please?
Surely. Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Sorry, Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan.
No.
Council President Feeney.
No.
It passes. Thank you.
I do wish we had the opportunity to discuss that further, but that's okay.
So that 85,000 is now going down to 78,000?
That is correct.
Has this position been, so this position has not been offered to this gentleman, we don't even know if he's going to accept?
Correct. We do not know.
And if he doesn't accept, then we have to go out to market to get somebody who's certified, and we could be looking at a much higher salary.
It's a possibility.
I think that we would be doing the town a real service if we could learn to communicate among each other before we jump to votes to, one-off each other. And I really think that we are a smart group of people, so we should really think seriously before we make a vote such as that, just to make sure that everyone's been heard and it makes sense. Just moving forward, we tend to argue a lot, and I'm really not of that mindset. I don't want that to be what we do. There was a lot of that in years past, and I'm not looking to make this, that kind of environment. So let's just try to work together, because there's a lot of smart people on this call. There's a lot of good things that we can do.
Okay, so we're on page 1, and we're at the first open item is the grant consultant. It's on page 1, and it's the last item on the page.
Mr. Tova, I went through my book and my notes, I did not see anything about him. Any discussion, any decision, I should say.
No, there wasn't anything. He's open.
Yeah.
So that's why we're starting with the first one. So right now he's at 30. They're at 30,000.
Mr. Tova, have we talked to the grant consultant and see if he's willing to reduce his fees?
I've not had that conversation regarding reducing fees. Right now, he's working on a number of different grants for fire, library, as you well know, and a few others, just that everything is on hold right now. Deadlines have been pushed back, so there hasn't been a lot of activity, and unfortunately, that's not within his control hours.
Well, because of that, I know like insurance policies are getting reimbursed because of less usage. So I was just asking if we could have a discussion with him to see if he'll willing to reduce his costs, since he hasn't been able to submit as many as he thought he could.
Well, that's not accurate. You can still submit them. They're just being delayed.
So the applications are still going through. He's still doing his work. It's just we're not going to have a response because they're on hold.
Well, some of the deadlines have been pushed back for obvious reasons. So he does have more opportunity to put I think, a stronger case together to win an award. But the grant funds aren't drying up as a result. They're just being delayed.
Okay.
I think we talked about last year, we really needed a full year of evaluation. That full year would be June. I know we're getting close to it, but I see progress in many areas.
But we've received 0 awards with him so far, right, Mr. Tova?
Correct. Well, we haven't been denied any either. Most of them are still out.
I understand, but to date, we haven't received any awards.
Correct.
Okay, where are we with this line? What's everybody's opinion?
A lot of money, and I'd like to see if we can have them reduce it like everybody else is reducing their fees.
Well, how do we know other towns are reducing their fees?
I didn't say other towns. I said other areas are reducing their fees. We've gotten zero bang for our buck to date. That's all.
Right, but nothing, like Mr. Chovo said, just to be on the flip side, nothing's been denied, and we haven't got any rejections, but our applications are still there. Okay, let's have a vote on this line, $30,000 for the grant consultant. It's 20-100-170. Sue?
We need a motion in a second.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll motion. So moved.
You can't do both. Who did the, it does what you did
So
first.
moved, yeah.
Stacy, are you motioning?
Yeah, I made a motion, yes.
Okay, so I have.
All right, then second, sorry.
No, I got you. I follow you now. Councilman Cumming.
Yes.
Councilman Casio.
No.
Councilman DeSena.
I'm the one that pushed to have this in there. I just, all right, I'm a yes, but I'd like to see him reduce his fees.
Councilwoman Morgan.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Council President Feeney.
Yes.
Okay, so 30,000.
Stacy, could we mark this down to 20,000?
No, I don't, the thing, we already voted on it, I mean,
I understand that.
but I think his fee is his fee based on a contract? How is it working, Mr. Chovo?
It's a contracted number, paid monthly.
So we would have to have a contract adjustments before we did that. We can't, it's not like it's an open.
I have a question on that. Is there room before you do this contract? Obviously, there should be some negotiating that happens, right? So you negotiated this contract, or you just take it at face value?
No, his initial number was higher than this.
Okay. So then the answer is it's been done. You've tried to get it down, and this is what it'll come down to.
It was already negotiated.
Right.
Mr. Tova, all we did was, we had him for 6 months last year, and it cost us, $15,000, and this year it's $30,000. So I don't know how it came down.
I didn't say it came down since we signed the contract. His initial offer for these services was a higher number.
So before you submitted the 2020 budget number, his request to us was higher.
Before we hired him in 2019, his initial offer was for a higher amount, negotiated down to the $30,000 annually.
Okay.
But that was a negotiation that took place in 2019, not 2020.
Correct.
So we didn't have a discussion with him in 2020 like we had just asked.
We had the discussion when we signed the contract.
How long is the contract?
12 months, correct?
1 year.
1 year, okay. So we could have technically negotiated it again this year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I understand that someone said that so far we've gotten nothing from the grants?
All grants that have been applied for are still pending.
it would seem to me this bears a careful look-see next year.
I agree. I think next year we want to negotiate it down. I mean, nobody knew in the beginning of this year this is where we would be, and since all of the grant applications are out there, nothing's been denied. I mean, that's a really big point. We have to, it's not his fault that they're taking longer to review grants or push the deadlines out.
But
Is this
I would
being
like to know
affected
that.
excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Is
Go ahead.
this no, I'm sorry. Is this being affected by the COVID?
Yes.
Mr. Cummings, are you, can I go? Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
okay.
you, ma'am.
No worries. I just want to know, I want to be sure, though, so that we are, as much as we possibly can, and I'm sure we are, but I just want to say it for my own knowledge, that we are negotiating every time and every opportunity that we can. If we chop away at it, even if it's $1,000 that we knock off the top. If we keep doing that for every contract that we have, rather than just roll it over and assume that that's what we're going to pay this year because we paid that last year, there's, people that do business, I don't have to tell you, they're going to want our business. We just have to really negotiate it. And if that's the price we come with, then that's the price. But I would just feel a little bit better about spending the money if I know that we got the best price that we could. Not just to take up, last year it was 6 months, we paid $15,000. This year it's going to be $30,000. I would like us to be a little more, on top of that. If that's just my 2 cents.
Mr. Trevor, just for the council's education, could you find out what he had originally asked for so we know what the negotiation was that happened previously?
Yes, I will go back and check.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But I'd also like to add, we do try and get the best deal no matter
I know.
COVID circumstance or not. So
Yeah.
I don't want
No,
people
I'm
to think
sure.
we just blindly sign these agreements. They're reviewed by the council. We all agree. So, I think it's important to throw that out there.
I believe you guys are doing that. It just seems that as I'm looking at it, it seems like, it's the math is adding up where last year we spent $15,000 for 6 months. This year, it's just, if you broke it up, it would have been $15,000 6 months, $15,000 next. It just doesn't seem like we negotiated it much. So I just want to make sure that, for my own sense of understanding, that we are able to negotiate every single contract every year. We don't. What's that?
I said Eureka. Everybody sees the light I was trying to explain. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's not even that. I mean, we also have to realize that the administration is responsible for the negotiations. If we have those questions, they obviously are pertinent, and they should come to light. But I don't think we should make the assumption on either side, council or administration, that everybody's not trying to get the best price for the town.
Agreed. Now, I'm not trying to say that at all. I was not at all implying that. I just, for my first year, I want to put it out there that that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see that the numbers change a little bit from year to year, sometimes lower, depending on our negotiation skills. That is all.
That's commendable.
Well, thank you, Mr. Cummings.
The truth. That's all.
Okay, we're going to move on to code publication on page 9, and that would be halfway down. It's 20-120-460.
Thank you.
The open question here was we were going to see how much was actually going to be needed because there was an increase this year for some additional code changes. And Mr. Tovo, I believe you were going to get back to us on that.
No, I believe that was the clerk.
And I believe I had the information one night, and I believe that the information was correct, that we're okay with this. That's what I want to say.
Okay, well, the question was, so last year was STEMBET was 4678,
Right.
and requested this year was 10,000. Is that going to be necessary, the 10,000?
Yes, because remember I explained to you that on the current cycle, what we've been doing is like a half a year, like chopped up instead of finishing all of 2020. It was go to midpoint of 2020 and then half of the other year. This will bring me through 2020, catch up from 19, 2020 into 21. And the extra for the DMF, that $2,000, I believe was included in here. I don't have that document, but if we do a quick break at one point, I will run upstairs.
Okay,
But
great.
I am 99% sure this is fine.
Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome. Sorry.
Sue, did you negotiate that number down?
I negotiate every penny. Let me tell you, I got on the phone with them and I said they had to give it to me for the biggest bang for my buck because I'm on a tight schedule. And they did work with me. General Code has worked with me every year to keep it down or less.
I'm glad to hear that.
All the time, Mayor, all the time.
Yeah, us too.
Okay, so is everybody good with the 10,000, or do we have any recommendations?
I'm fine with it.
Good.
Good?
Okay. Gee, I'll read it. Okay, so Township Clerk Printing. So, previous meeting, it was recommended that this be made higher. So you're going to get back to us on this?
I have a number in there of 1,000. Is that?
Yeah,
I have 1,000 in there too, Art.
yeah, and that, we already took care of it. It was the increase of $400.
Right, but you were going to make sure you didn't want anything else with my note.
No, I don't think I did because I didn't have any notes to check anything back, Stacy, so that must have been, okay.
Okay, all right, so we're going with 1,000 here.
Once it's done, it's in the back of my rearview mirror. I apologize.
Very good.
Okay, tax books, next is page 16.
Would you like the explanation for the increase on this?
Yes, please.
Currently, the county pays for a portion of the tax book software that we utilize, and all the towns were notified this year that they need to budget for it themselves.
So that's the additional, like, $1,800?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm good.
I have a number in there of 3,800. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, it's going from the 1,900 that was spent last year, Mr. Cummings, to the 38 this year. And the question was, do we need that high?
I see, of course. Good question. We came
It
back.
makes sense.
to it. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll confirm that? That's good.
Okay, so everybody good with the 3,800?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, the next was,
So this, Mr. Tova, so this is an unfunded mandate by the counties to pay for their software that they've paid for us out of our county taxes in the past, correct?
There's still a chance that they may pay for it, but everybody was told to budget in their municipal budget to cover that difference.
All right. So it's an unfunded mandate by the county. Thank you.
okay, the next thing that's open is Public Affairs Miscellaneous. I think did we hear back on that? Not yet.
Yes, you did. That line item was not funded last year, so therefore there was nothing taken out of it, and we would recommend not funding it again.
So take the 1,000 out.
What page are you on, Stacy?
Sorry, page 22.
Thank you.
3/4 of the way down. So we're going to take the 1,000 out. Correct, Mr. Tovo?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, public affairs miscellaneous. Okay.
It's 20-406-500.
Thank you. Okay.
And states it's being zeroed out?
Yeah, it's being zeroed out, yes.
Okay.
Okay, we didn't get to the, which was a miss, we didn't get to the uniform instruction code section. Okay, so this, we're starting on page 27, a little bit more than halfway down.
that's the question.
Okay, so let's see. The first one is the UCC official, which is, we did talk about this.
That's only a 1.5 salary increase.
Yes, I'm checking the salaries. I'm checking the salary worksheet to see if we already did this. So this was open. We had some questions here. It was part of the construction official.
Mr. Tova, I guess the question for me was, is the $174,801 fully funded by the department?
And the answer previously distributed is $4,700 above that.
So this needs to be reduced by $4,700 then?
No, it doesn't need to be. State law states that there's no restriction on funding above that level if the municipality chooses to do so. And that was sent out to all of you a month ago.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first one is the UCC official, which is a 1.5% increase to $28,813, and this person also holds the position of plumbing official. That's correct, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the first position is the UCC official at $28,813, the 1.5% increase.
I'm okay with that.
That would be appropriate.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Then the plumbing official is a 1.5% increase to $11,201. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, then we're going to. Okay, the second TA, which position does that translate to? On the budget, it says UCC second TA. So what does that translate into in like a job description?
That would be a part-time TA.
Part-time, so part-time tech assistant.
Correct.
Okay, and here you're looking for a $10,000 increase, and you're saying that's going to full-time, a full-time salary, or it's going to $23 per hour?
It's $23 per hour. It is part-time.
What does that person currently make, Mr. Tova?
I think they're somewhere around 17 or 18 an hour. And market value on this is around 25 to 26 an hour.
Okay, so what's everyone's opinion here?
Can we cut this line
190
item by $4,700 to make it so it's self-funded department?
Is that line 195, 150?
Yes, that's 195, 150. So currently the gentleman or the person is at, what did you say, $18 per hour?
Approximately, yes.
And now they're going to bring it up to $23 per hour.
Right, that would be for both TAs.
Both TAs, okay. So this total budget then, it would be split in half, one for each person then, technically.
No, you have a separate line for the head TA.
Oh, the head TA. Oh, I see. Okay. Who's full-time now?
Correct.
Wow.
You know, we acknowledge it's a big jump, but both these people are certified, and we're so far below market on this that we're just going to lose them.
Oh, so there's a certification that goes with these positions.
There is, yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I mean, for somebody who's certified, I'm good with 23 an hour. are we always guaranteed that this department is fully self-funded, or could there be fluctuations depending upon what's going on in town?
Well, naturally, there can be fluctuations based on the amount of activity we have in town. Right now, there's two things we want to keep in mind. Number one, it looks like there are enough major projects on the horizon where we'll need to maintain our staffing. And secondly, we do need to address our current rates because they haven't been changed in about a dozen years.
At least people have gotten the 1.5% raise through the years, Mr. Tovo, the last 2 years.
No, he means the building fees, Mike, the permit fees.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood what he meant. Well, isn't this COVID-19 with nobody working going to drive this department's revenue down? So it may be a bad year to give such big raises?
Well, it's still giving, even though we're doing the waiver and stuff, aren't they still issuing permits and things like that?
Yeah, listen, we've taken a hard look at this, and we realize that there are some smaller projects that may not happen because of it. But we still have some large projects that are lining up to get in here and start getting work done. So I see a very active second half of the year.
I think we need to anticipate that it's going to get better. We'll be behind the 8 ball if we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
These people are certified specialists in what they do, and they are valuable to us.
Okay, I'm going to put it to a vote for the amount of the 29. I mean, I think everybody's kind of said what they think.
Can I ask Mr. Tovo one more question?
Sure.
Both of them are certified, Mr. Tovo? They've both completed their coursework and they have their certifications?
they do.
Okay, I'm going to put it to a vote. This is for the UCC second TA for the 29.9. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman Casio?
No.
Councilman DeSena?
No.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes.
I think we have a lot of part-time people that work in town that make a lot less than $23 an hour, even though they're not certified in their position. They just think it sets a bad precedent, that's all.
It's a very specialized field, and you need well-trained people to do a decent job and keep track of it. And these people are exceptionally good.
Okay. The next line is the electrical official in town. It's a 1.5% salary increase. I'm good. Is everybody good?
Yeah,
I'm fine.
I'm good.
Okay. The next one is the fire code official, which is 1.5%. Everybody good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The next one is the UCC head tech assistant, and this position, I'm assuming last year was part-time?
For part of last year, about half of last year, it was part-time and also not certified.
So now this person has a certification and is now full-time, just so everybody is on the same page, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the request is for full-time salary. This is 23 per hour, so this is hourly also, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so do we want to discuss it?
I'd like to vote on it.
Well, let's see if there's anybody who wants to discuss it first, since we said we would try to go in that direction.
Sure, let's discuss it.
Okay, who wants to discuss it? Okay. Go ahead, Councilman DeSantis, if you want to call a vote.
No, I'd just like to see the department fully self-funded and not have the taxpayer foot any of the bill. So how we recover that $4,700 Mr. Tovo talked about, and possibly even more, I just think that, these are very big raises to people in the department. I agree with Mr. Cumming, they are highly specialized, but I just think the raise, giving everybody 1.5% and we're giving them almost, 10, 12% raises is not fair.
Well, an option could be we could also look at the fees that we're charging in town, since Mr. Tovo has indicated that we are not, they haven't been changed in 12 years, which I think is a very large gap. Is that correct? That they haven't been changed?
That is
We've
correct.
raised it in 12 years. We've raised it.
What,
I'm sorry, Mr. Cassio, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we've raised it in my tenure, and I haven't been here 12 years. I know it's been raised. Maybe it hasn't been raised a lot, but I know they've been raised.
and we raise the fees, we still put it on the residents, it's still a burden to the residents, whether we tax them for it or we get it through a permit, it's still the same thing.
Well, it's not always a resident. I mean, it could be a developer, too.
Well, they're still, they're still going to pass the cost along to their,
pass it along.
they're going to pass the cost along to their purchasers. So it's always,
Maybe we need to do a study on how our fees compare to comparable towns.
The other thing is that they stopped requiring permits for a re-roof and a few other things, and that cut their revenue down, unfortunately.
That's interesting.
Ms. Feeney, that survey is currently undergoing.
Oh, to compare. Okay, that's great to know.
I think that's a great idea, actually.
do we have a date we could expect that, Mr. Tovo?
I asked that they have it done by the time the budget is complete, so we can address fees across the board sometime during the summer. So I would expect by June 1 we'll have that.
But the budget will be complete by then.
Correct. I said when the budget was complete, we want to have a full picture of our fees so we can discuss over the summer whether or not we want to raise them. Or lower them or just bring them into the norm.
Mr. Giussetta, do you want to call for a vote, or I want to discuss it anymore since you were trying to call one first?
I'd like to have a vote. That'd be great. Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, I'll motion, you call it, I'll motion somebody second.
Fine, I'll so moved.
Second.
Sue, whenever you're ready.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman Cassio?
Yes.
Councilman DeSena?
No.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we got that one. Sorry, I'm just checking off the section, so if you hear me saying that one, and that one. Electrical official, fire code, SEA. Okay, so the next one is inspector. This is an open position, correct?
No, you got to do building plumbing inspector, Stacy, right on the same page.
Okay, well, yeah, I know. I have that as a note that's saying it's open, so just checking.
Oh, I'm sorry, which one's open?
The sub-inspector, that's an open position, right? That's not filled?
195185?
Yeah, currently that's not, and it hasn't been. I believe this money was put aside in here in prior years in the event we had to use a sub or an inspector from a different town.
Okay, so no need. Okay. All right, so
Now, is any council or the mayor planning on doing renovations to our home? Because if we are, then we need so much. Right? Because that's been used in the past, right? Steve, didn't you have to have somebody else inspect your plans?
Yeah, you have to have at least, you should put about 250 in there, just in case someone does something there and you gotta go to Hillsdale. We have to pay Hillsdale. So.
I did last year, and it was Upper Saddle River.
How much, Mr. Cummings?
It shouldn't have been Upper Saddle River.
Well, that's what
It
they
shouldn't have
did.
been, because that's our guy, right?
Upper.
We traditionally go to, Saddle, we usually go to Hillsdale, but I would keep 250 in there.
Yeah, we would
250
need to
is a
put
fair
something
number.
in there.
You can't leave it at zero.
Okay, so, I'll make a motion for $250 for 195,185.
I'll second it.
That would be good.
Sue?
Councilman Cumming?
Yes.
Councilman Casio?
Yes.
Councilman DeSena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes. Okay, so we said 250, right? Okay. Building plumbing inspection, 15,834. I'm assuming that the 16 that was paid was due to, I have no idea.
I'm sorry,
Was that-
what are you questioning?
28.
I mean, I'm good with the 1.5%. I'm just making sure we don't need more money because more was spent last year.
Actually, I didn't catch that, so I need to double check that number. I believe the 15.6 is correct. I'll make sure something else wasn't charged there.
Okay, because if you look at the line,
yeah, and the reason for the trend downward is this employee asked to go to salaried and agreed to 15.6 rather than filling out timesheets every time he was on a project or inspection.
okay. So, I mean, I'm good with the 15,834. We can leave it.
So
Yeah.
how do we pay him 16,485, Mr. Fellow?
Well, that's why I asked. Was he with salary last year?
Yes. But my guess is by the time we approved this, he'd already submitted bills for hours that, created the difference here.
Okay. Okay, so I'm good with the 15,834. Are you guys also, I'm assuming, one and a half?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That 1.5 is not a grandiose increase.
Okay. CCO inspections, 12,500. I'm assuming we paid 10.6 last year, but the line item was 12, so I'm good with the 12.5.
Yeah, this can be a little bit of a wild card because they're paid by the inspection done.
Right.
So that's why we just bumped it up a little bit. We were anticipating more activity.
Okay. Anybody have an issue with this line?
No.
That's good.
No, okay.
Okay. Office supplies, 1,200. Okay.
Any reason the big jump, Mr. Tobo? They only spent $300 less than $300 last year.
It seems to be all over the place from year to year, so it's probably unpredictable.
Yeah, I think it's stabilizing a little bit. There's some renovations planned there, which we know may result in additional bins and that nature. And now that we have one additional TA in there, we want to up it a little bit so that that person is properly equipped as well.
If you're familiar with the building forms, they are custom printing, and that could add a chunk too.
Okay. I'm good with the 1,200 because of what's, anybody have an issue with it?
No, I'm okay with it.
That's good.
Okay. The books, subs and books, 1,000. Last year they spent 2,200. Is that because of late bills from the prior year, or?
No, that was an upgrade on some books, so we believe they're current now, so 1,000 should stabilize them.
Okay.
The
Anybody have
codes
an
are
issue?
updated. The codes are updated every 3 years, so you're going to see an irregularity in the expenditures. One of the 3 years it will be very high, and then for 2 years there will be almost nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're seeing that actually in the earlier parts of the line item.
And that's why that happens.
Yeah.
And they're not consistent, as in electric is one, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
so
electric is not the same year as the building, for instance. but it
Makes
does
sense.
need to be replaced so that the gentlemen have the up-to-date information.
Yeah.
I would give them 1,000 and be prepared to put more in there if necessary, ma'am.
Yes, no, I agree, especially like with I know from the National Electrical Code, it's that we spend a lot every 3 years.
I'm sorry, I forgot for a moment that you're very familiar with electric.
No, I'm not that familiar. I just, as you said it, with the upgrade, I said, yes, that's right, we do spend, Matthew does spend more every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Yeah. All right, so we're good with 1,000? Okay.
Yeah. Good
Dues and
starting
meetings, 200. I'm good with that.
point. I would assume.
Okay.
Mileage stipend, 750, which in line with last year's spend, so I'm good. Furniture and equipment, 2,000. New computer, it says. So you need to buy a new computer? They need to buy a new computer?
Probably for the TA.
Mr. Tobo?
Sorry, Stacy, he stepped out for just a moment, but yes, with the new computer, it would be, one-time bump.
Okay.
So they're going to need another station with another license for Roadrunner and such,
Okay.
which is the building department program.
Okay, training, 1,000.
Good.
Printing, 7.
Folks, the state of New Jersey pays for the training. There's no cost.
Mr. Mayor, or is Mr. Tovo back?
He is not back, and, I don't know, so I would take what Councilman Cumming is saying, because it looks like we didn't budget for it for a few years.
And they spent $450 last year, so do you want to cut it in half?
We can come back to that.
Yeah, we can come back when Mr. Tovo comes back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I don't know what 450 was for, but the state does pay for all my training and every other building inspector.
Okay. Printing, 750. I'm good.
Yep.
Uniform, miscellaneous, 250. I'm good. Software is 1,000.
Yes, that's the Roadrunner program that the state mandates.
Okay.
It may
And
be periodic again.
Excuse me, Stacy?
yeah,
I looked up that number, that 450 number.
yeah.
It was for the tech assistant certification course. It was her classes that she had to take.
Right. No, I understand.
That was the 450.
Okay.
Okay, that's not building though. That might be right. Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Let's see, maybe if they need some CEUs. Let's see what Mr. Tovo says there. To keep their certification.
I apologize. I'm back. That was the issue. They wanted to take classes to make sure they maintain their CEUs, and I believe there was an additional class, a part-time TA wanted to take this year.
And is that 1,000, or is it going to be the 500, or do we not know?
Typically a class, just one class.
Mr. Tovo, are part-timers eligible for classes?
Can't see any reason why they would not be.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, if we can back up to furniture and equipment.
New computer, it says.
What's that? Right.
New computer?
Okay. All right. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I didn't want you to think that we just kind of pushed it. So, but that's right, new computer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then I see the software for the 1,000 is on the bottom.
So that those classes, the training would be $1,000. You're thinking for 370? Hello.
Hold on. I'm just looking somewhere else.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I was on mute.
The one that for last year says that it was 450 and the actual expenses.
But we have two now, so it's like,
Right. No, yeah. To just
yeah.
on pay. I just had it. I just closed it.
Where are we?
We're in the classes.
Page 61 on the audit trail.
It was at Middlesex Community College Tech Assistant Certification course.
And there's two. We'll have two that will need that, so that's $900 right there, right? Is that what we're saying? Do you need this? How else?
I think it's right, Mr. Trevor, they need this to keep their CEUs and their certifications every year, or how does it work?
They do, but typically the CEU courses are not, in the 450 range. Other courses may be, and I know that we were also looking at maybe some additional training on the software as well.
Okay.
How long
very
are the
possible.
certifications? How long are the certifications valid for? 2 years? 3 years?
Mr. Cumming, you probably know that, but I believe it's 3, isn't it?
It's 3 years for the building courses.
Okay.
Now,
So then
if this
1,000
is
seems in line
software,
for CEUs.
if this is software, that's right one time usually. The UCC training, is that what we're working on?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That might be training in Roadrunner program or something that is proprietary
Right,
because it's not building.
right.
It's not studs and wires.
So that would be not free for them, is what you're saying? If it's not.
That probably is not free. That's the only reason it'd be a charge down there. The Roadrunner they charge for.
Okay, I'm okay with it.
I'm good with the 1,000 also.
1,000, good.
Anybody have any issues with it, or?
That's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna leave the 1,000.
As I see down further, UCC software.
Yes, for the 1,000, yeah.
So for an additional workstation, that's probably what that is, right?
No, that's on the following line.
The SDL?
The SDL, correct.
So the 1,000 that's for the software line, is that to get the new laptop up and running or the new computer up and running?
Correct.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so the Roadrunner software is the last line on the next page for 4,000. So we've had a significant jump from 19 to 20. Mr. Trovo, can you, the new license and training here, so, okay, just to clarify the line. So on the previous line, we said possibly that could be the Roadrunner software, it's been speculated. But on this last line, it says 4,000 for the software and for training. Is that a mistype, or where do we really stand?
What we stand is we have 2 different components here. One is the actual users in SDL, and we have 2 now. Both the TA and the second TA both need to have access to the system at a price of, I believe it's $1,650 per chair. We also have $1,000 yearly for the mobile application.
Oh, I see. So $1,650 per chair. So you're at 33 plus 1,000, so you're at 43, and then you have a training in addition.
Which wouldn't be coming out of here,
No, me. Okay.
just for the software.
Okay. I'm good. It all adds up. Anybody have an issue?
No.
Okay.
No, good.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, good. So we got through that section. All right, we didn't skip anything. No, we did the whole section. Okay.
Next thing I have, Stacy, is the bottom of page 30. We're waiting on information on the health insurance, dental, and life.
Yeah, actually, I have the workman's comp is still open also, so the one before that.
I have that okayed.
I have that one okay. I have 220000 is open.
Okay.
I have nothing on that other one either, Stacy.
What the?
Okay, the 196, yeah, the workers' comp.
I had those okay as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're outvoted.
220000 I have as tabled.
So you were going to get back to us based upon the monthly draw?
I did. I sent you an email showing the 19 to 20 comparison, and that we only need to fund the amount minus the employee contribution. So the new amount is actually $753, rounding to $760 in the event that somebody is hired. I think would be advisable.
Okay, so what number, just want to make sure, can you just tell me the exact number you're recommending so we can have it for the record?
$760,000.
So you want to decrease it by $110,000.
Yes, that's good. Okay, so is everybody okay with the 760?
Sure.
Yes.
What's not to be okay?
Okay, so we've got this line down to 760.
750 or 576?
760.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
So moving on. Okay. Hold on, wait. I got to go back to my notes because I was opening my email. 1 second. Okay, so next open line I have. Hold on, wait. 1 second. Okay, I have fire department radio expense.
What page is that?
Page 40.
Page what?
Yeah, 40? Yes, you're right. Yep, 40.
Page 40.
Okay. What are we doing?
I think there was a question. Hold on, wait. Let me just look at my notes.
There's a question as to why there's such a large bump there.
Yes, because it went from 2,000 last year to 10,000 this year, and I think it was for upgrades. For my note says, but Mr. Tova, you were going to confirm.
It's a combination of two things: a replacement of 3 radios that are over 25 years old, and also combining this line with the pager line and zeroing out the pager line.
Okay. So you have, based on the price estimate that you have in the 3 new radios plus the pager, the 10,000 is going to cover it.
Correct.
Where's the pager line, Mr. Tova? I'm just looking for that.
It's on page 42, and we've recommended no spend there. Last year there was
22, 23, 92.
correct.
So you're saying that roughly the pagers, so you're saying the 3 new radios will be like around $7,500 total?
I'm sure that the fire department already got pricing on it.
Okay.
So within the combination of those radios and the pagers they foresee needing, $10,000 is their recommended ask.
I'm good with the 10,000 since they need to replace those 3 radios. Does anyone else have an issue?
We're zeroing out the pagers. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tova, will those 3 new radios work on our new system whenever we get our new system, or no?
They should be dual banded, so they should work. I will probably that with them.
Thank you.
I mean, all departments have been told to not spend any non-essential funding on radios, but according to the director and the chief, the need here is pretty dire.
Yeah, and I met with that department. I have a note that, because I always ask that same question, yes, they're upward compatible.
Okay.
Good, as long as they're upward compatible. I
Yeah.
just don't want to buy something that is a waste of money.
Definitely not, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
We know, Mr. Tova, Stacy, sorry to jump in. Mr. Tova, do we know where the radio report is, or has COVID-19 kind of stopped it?
Yeah, where our consultant is having a difficult time is getting on site to some of these vendors, so they're trying to work other ways around that. And as of, I believe it was Tuesday of this week, he had made some progress, so he hopes to have something to us by next week.
That's good news.
Okay. Thank you.
Finally. Wonderful.
Well, just keep in mind that there's still another difficult piece to this, and that would be meeting with the county, so there really needs to be an on-site visit, and currently they're not open for that, so that could still play it.
We can't win for losing, right?
You have to be cautious.
You've done a yeoman's job on this, Mr. Tobo, I think.
Okay, is everybody good with the 10,000 here, just to be clear?
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Okay,
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
good. Mr. Cassio?
Yes, can I help you?
Yeah, are you good? Can we move on?
Yes, I'm good. Yes.
Okay. The next item I have is page 50, the recycling containers.
I have 42. We didn't do fire department internet, $4,000. It's 42 in the top of 43. I'm missing out.
42, I have
Fire
that.
internet and then
Fire internet is 0.
no, but it's $4,000 on the next page.
No, that's the department total, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's department total.
That's the department total.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Getting late. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No big deal.
So 50, you said 50?
Yes, I said 50.
How much do we need on 268,003 fire internet?
No, they had requested 0.
They what?
They requested 0. It's been 0 for a few years.
So it's zeroed out.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Where are we, Faith?
Hold on, wait, I lost my place.
Page 50.
Page 50.
How about page 44?
Cycling.
Yeah, I have page 50.
Do you have something on 44, Stacy?
Hold on. I think that's what it was.
Did I miss something?
I thought you
I
had
have
the
stuff on
recycling
44,
curbside.
45.
Yeah, I think those are we just talked about, that was we did those in the first lines, first minutes. Okay, I have recycling curbside. So where are we with this possible activity for our town?
We are going to recommend that we bring this number down to $180,000 and time our bidding on this for a 1/1/21 start date. All the same concerns we discussed earlier. I don't know in this current climate that we're even going to get the proper amount of bids to have the state approve it. That in light of everything else, I just think that we need to back off on this and see how things play out later in the year.
So I'm good then with the 180,000.
What about the requested 146? We're not good with that?
The reason we have to up that is we're just not making any money or break even on our recyclables. So that's where that extra $36,000 is.
So you say we're going to need this in order to continue the recycling for the town?
Yeah, like I said, some fibers are coming back, but not everything. So, we're paying, $1,500–$1,600 a month, sometimes more.
Do we need to get a program going or something different going to?
No, it's just the value of the recyclables are down.
Okay. You're projecting 180,000 will cover our costs for the remainder for all of 2020 then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does anybody want to discuss this, or since Mr. Tovo is the one evaluating the bills, we go with the 180,000?
How did it go up? How did it go up to 36? The extra money that you wanted from your original request.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, the department requested 146. You want 180, right? So you didn't figure in prior that the tonnage was down? Is that what it was?
No, he said the value of the recyclables is changed.
Well, the 146.
Value and tonnage, either or.
Well, there's not really a department here to recommend this. The 146 was in line with the contract amount that we have to pay the hauler. The recommended by administration of 580 was including half year of solid waste pickup plus the additional 36,000 for the extra recycling costs.
Oh, so it was already built in there, but we just, okay.
Right.
are we good with the 180,000 recommended, or do we need to?
We have to vote because it was 580 recommended.
Right.
We're reducing it.
Okay, so let's have a vote for 180,000 for 26305-210 curbside contractor fees. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Sue, whenever you're ready.
Councilman Cumming?
Yes, please.
Councilman Casio?
No.
Councilman DeSena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Council President Feeney?
Yes. Okay, 180,000.
It was a very good program on this 2 weeks ago on Frontline on Channel 13. It's all waste now, basically, unfortunately.
Really? Hey, maybe you
Yeah.
can send me the name of that. I'd like to watch it.
I'd be happy to.
Okay. Okay. The next item I have is the green team is open. Unless somebody, because we have the administration saying 23 and requested by them is 16.5.
Page, please.
Bottom of 50.
You're so kind. Thank you.
I had sent to council the
There were trees in there?
request by the green team for the 16.5, and because that's who we normally purchase our trees through, I added the trees for the back of the parking lot. It's really a rough estimate until Mr. Cumming and I can properly identify and price out the trees. So this
And we
is
should-
higher than what
we
we
should
need,
have-
but it's a safe number.
I'll try to have more information for you this week, Mr. Tobo.
Thank you, sir.
So do we need to still put this on the hold area, or Mr. Cumming, what's your recommendation?
Why don't we hold it for a week, and then we can give you a better number to use, please.
Sounds good to me, so this is still open. Okay.
Hold it for a week, you won't adopt the budget on time.
If we did it by Tuesday, we would be fine, we were told last.
Oh, that's correct. When you said a week, today's Thursday, I was thinking you were going to do it next Thursday. Tuesday would be fine.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mr. Cummings, does Tuesday, by Monday work so we could have the information for Tuesday's meeting?
If I have to drive the contractor up here, I will.
Okay.
So Stacy, we're planning on approving this budget Tuesday night?
Like I said, I don't know. I have to, after we get through tonight, I have to really sit down and see where we are and see where we'll be. Again, like I said last meeting, hopefully based on how the progress we make tonight, if we can do some sort of approval, because otherwise we have to file an extension, and I would rather see if we can be on time. Well, on time extended, I should say.
I think without having the rerun of all the pages and seeing all the new numbers and what the financial impact is to the taxpayer, I'm not going to be able to make a decision by Tuesday night if we don't have this by tomorrow.
Well, I will have to get with Mr. Tovo and see what we can actually do. That's why I said, let's see how far we get. Let's see what's left in the question, and then see where, how fast we can get this put together. If it's all hands on deck to get the information out, then it's all hands on deck.
Okay.
I really don't mean to interrupt the process, but I had a talk with the clerical person today who had spent a lot of time redoing the electric and gas, and she will not have that ready for 2 or 3 more days with good numbers that we can bank on,
So can we get is there an estimate, or that we could?
If we have to, we'll have an estimate ready for you.
Okay.
I think that was always the intent, was to have the estimate ready, and I think it's pretty close to the number we've already recommended. So if anything, this process will reduce it through the year so we have a better number for 21.
Right, which was previously said.
And not to jump ahead, but since it came up at this point, we were hoping to get through the current part of the budget tonight so we could start working on the figures for revenue and get that to council Monday in preparation for Tuesday night's meeting.
Okay, so as of right now, we have Green Team open, so that's page 50, 26305-250. The next item that I have is,
Stacy, if you want to make that 16,555, I think we're reasonably safe with that.
you mean the requested, the 16,555?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so not the 23.
Well, Art, there's no money for the trees in that 16 number. So,
There's nothing for the trees along the property line?
no, that's the difference between the 16 and 23.
Oh, then we better use 23. I'm so sorry.
No, so Mr. Cumming, you're recommending the 23 like the administration's recommending?
Yes, ma'am, at this time, and we'll try to if we can do better, we will.
Mr. Cummings, are you calling for a vote?
We could.
Okay.
Art, you'll negotiate the price of those trees?
To the basement.
Okay, Mr. Cummings calling for a vote. I will second.
Thank you.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes, please.
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
As long as you negotiate, Art, yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes.
So $23,000.
Open.
Okay.
Okay, great. Closed. All right, the next item I have is
I have DMF HVAC maintenance.
I have the same. We were just waiting back on to hear if that's the correct amount, 5,000.
I don't know if we ever discussed it before, but that is the amount, yes.
You know, that should be plenty because almost all the equipment is very, very new, if not under warranty.
Okay, so I'm good with the 5,000.
I would think we can do it for that easily.
Okay, I think this was the meeting I missed. Okay, the next one I have is the vehicle maintenance section is open. 52 and, sorry,
52?
yes.
Okay.
So you'll have to bear with me because I believe this was the meeting that I missed.
We didn't do any of these.
But we didn't, thank you, just to clarify.
The whole section 253 is fully got to be gone through, and the top of 54 where the subtotals are.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so starting with police vehicle tires, 7,000. Okay, good. Okay, fire vehicle tires, 3,000.
Good. Sure.
Okay, BMF vehicle tires, 12,000.
Okay.
Police vehicle OS equipment and repairs, 8,000. All repairs, one line item per department.
DMF seems to be a bit of a bump, Stacy.
Sorry, say that.
I'm sorry, DMF seems to be a bit of a bump. It was 4, 8, 4, and now they're asking for 12.
Is that because we're anticipating, because we didn't do a lot last year, there's going to be some this year? What's the...
No, we're combining line items. It says all repairs in one line item.
Not for tires.
No, not for tires, they're broken out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had moved down the equipment repairs already. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Mr. Tovo, do you have an explanation or a plan for the tire line for DMF?
Yeah, there's two factors here. Number one, when we compare the 19, some tires were purchased at the end of the year that didn't reflect when we ran this. And with some of our newer vehicles, the larger vehicles, those tires are more expensive. And what I think the most important factor is there really was no good program in place to make sure these tires were replaced when they should be. So we're staying on top of that, ensuring that the tires are cycled out when their useful life is over. Same rationale last year, that's why we upped it from the 9 to the 12.
So you really think 12 is a good number, sir?
I do. I'm confident in meeting with all the DMF leadership. That number should work for them.
Okay, thank you. Is everybody okay with it, or?
I'm good with it, but thanks for bringing it to our attention.
No problem.
So I'm sorry to take us backwards when it seemed to be pretty good.
No, you're fine. Okay, police vehicle OS equipment and repairs. I see that it says that all the repairs are on one line. This is now 8,000, and I see the other lines down below have been zeroed out.
That's correct.
Okay, equipment and repairs, fire vehicles, 25,000. And then DMF vehicle repairs, 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why so much, Mr. Tova, with all the new equipment?
Honestly, it's primarily our garbage trucks. You know, we weren't servicing them regularly before last year. Now we are, and they get heavy use, so they're very expensive to keep running.
And I see previously that it was 13, 12, 1, and 40, so, okay.
Yeah, we were really all over the place on how we did this, and we're not doing a lot of inside repair anymore. It was something minor that we can do quickly.
Okay, with that being said, that's the last line here. So this section is done. Good. Okay, community service is what I have open. Just let me know if that's wrong.
Where are you, Sid?
Sorry, it's at the bottom of 53. Sorry.
Yes, that is open.
Okay, so this is 26325.
Are we missing bills from 2019, Mr. Tova?
Yeah, we did have bills come in late on this because they are billed monthly, so we are pretty close to that 30,000 or 32,000 requested.
So if that's the case, I'm good with the 30. Anybody have an issue?
It's actually 32 recommended.
Sorry, 32.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm good.
Des, you all right?
I am.
Okay, good.
Very good, thank you.
Casey, can we back up to 50 again?
So, sorry, page
Can we go back
50,
to page, yes. Can we go back to curbside contractor fees?
180,000?
Yes. Mr. Tova, you said it was averaging about $1,500 to $1,600 a month, the bills for the waste that they're not accepting, the recycling waste they're not accepting?
And some months higher.
Okay.
Beginning of the year, they were extremely high. They've come down a little bit in April. We're starting to see a little bit of an improvement, but you know the market's all over the place. We don't know where it's going.
Are you also anticipating the bills could be higher because people are home?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was coming up with 164 at $1,600 a month. That's all.
Like I said, we've had months where that was the bill. We've had months where it was over $3,000.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, the next, oh wait, I lost my place. Okay, so that's done. The next thing I have is, hold on. I think the next thing I have is page 60. At page 60, I have the activities. We're going to confirm because we weren't sure if the bills came in for that or that there was something wrong with this GL, the summer rec activities.
Yeah, looking at that, and that was sent to you, this line item is largely collecting money from our residents for extra activities that stem out of summer rec, for Dave and Buster's and other field trips. So we actually ended up last year with virtually the same amount that we started with. Being as an account where money's flowing in and out, I think we need to lower it to $10,000.
Okay, yeah, I see that here. Basketball. Yeah, I see the dinosaur camp trip, Dave and Buster's, Tomahawk Root.
Yeah, it's a water park.
Okay. Okay, so you're recommending changing it to 10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm good with the 10,000. Let's have a vote on this. I'm calling for a vote for $10,000 on 28.775. Do we need to have a vote since it's less?
Yes.
All right, so let's have a vote. I'll make a motion for a vote. Anybody second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Second.
Councilman Cumming,
Yes.
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Yes.
Council President Feeney.
Yes. Okay. Okay, what I have open. Okay, so Mr. Cummings, the DMF electricity is still open, correct? But also.
Yes, I had said that the clerical had trouble with that, and they will be ready next week.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the figures are not ready. I hope they've been ready by now, but she's gone back to 17 to straighten them out because they were so messied up, and we will have them ready for you next week.
Okay, that sounds great.
So today, and she's indicating that the number allocated is okay, just a matter of how it's broken out.
So the dollars are fine? Okay, it's just which department it was allocated to?
Right. I think Mr. Cumming also asked for an additional line item to be added there, which she's working on.
That is absolutely correct for the payback to public service, but I didn't know, sir, if they had the gas separated properly from the electric, that those numbers were right, because they were...
I agree they were not separated as they should have been, but the amounts allocated do fit what the spend was.
And
They need to put in the proper line item.
when I was up here earlier, Dina gave me a sheet that you and I can review tomorrow that breaks out the gas, electric, and the grant.
Do you feel, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Tovo, from looking at these numbers that are requested, can we approve them tonight and be safe?
I believe we can.
I would ditto that.
Okay, so those are on page 66. Let's take a quick look here. Okay, so we've got 15,000. All right, we already approved the firehouse electricity for 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the DMF building electricity I have open for 15.
We had that for 10. We approved the firehouse for 10.
We approved the firehouse. I had town hall for 10. No? Okay, so do we have firehouse for 10?
We have firehouse for 10. We have town hall for 20.
Okay, I
Yeah,
have
mine was
on town.
we lowered town hall by 10K. I had safety, and then we have
And
electricity.
we have
DMF.
DMF for...
One at a time, please, I'm sorry.
So the one I have that's open is the DMF building electricity for 15,000.
That is
That's
correct.
fine.
Okay, so we want, so everybody is saying that's fine. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so we're down to 45,000 for this, for electricity.
It's going to go even lower, but good. We'll be good.
Okay.
Just to clarify, firehouse was 10?
Yeah, I don't have that, I
Yes.
have 11.
Either.
Yeah, how about
No, I had 10. I may be wrong.
You went $10,000 down like you said in the town hall, but I don't have, I mean, can we all double check our notes then?
Okay, I have 11, but if we wanted, does everybody agree to 10 for firehouse? Because we can just
I'm
do
okay with
the section. Okay. So just, I'm doing the whole section. 10 for
We'll be able
firehouse,
to live with that. We can live
15 for DMS, and 20 for town hall, and we're at 45,000 total. Is everybody good?
Right, good.
Okay. Yay, okay, so that's done. Okay, the next thing I have is,
Page 71.
yes, page 71. Yes, statutory expense, the pension bill. Mr. Tover, you're gonna talk to us?
Captured somewhere else, it said? That's the note I have.
That's the note I have also, but we were gonna get clarity on that.
I have $8,000, and it's okay for DCRP.
No, this is
Way
pension
above it.
statutory expense PERS. This is 471 part.
It's the one,
There's no line
Thank
item
you.
for it.
it's the one above it.
I see. Thank you. I don't have any number for that. What do you want me to use?
Nothing yet. Mr. Tover is going to, there was going to be clarity whether this was in its own line, was this included somewhere else, was it omitted in error? That's what we're waiting for.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. In the workbook we utilize for the budget, it's in Excel, it's completely outside of Edmunds, and once we're done, we have to import it in. So where this amount was put into the workbook, when it converted over to the Edmunds software, the number never calculated.
Okay, so what should the number here be?
Total number for DCRP and PERS is 151 and change, and you have those new sheets that were sent to you today.
Okay, do I have sheets that were sent today?
And to further explain the reason that the mayor and I caught this fairly early in the process, but we knew in the back end of the budget where there was higher than expected dollar amounts for capital improvement and a few other items that we knew we were reducing, that the total amount was still being captured in the bottom.
Okay, so you're saying that the $151,000 roughly for line 47100 and 471001 is in the $1,018,048? Or I'm sorry, the department total of $788,048?
No, I'm saying that in this sheet it is not.
Okay.
I'm saying in the overall budget, because we had other lines that were much higher than we knew they would be or we thought would be this year, the overall number was still within line with the budget.
The overall number meaning the 14...
Correct. So my point is that we weren't panicking to add it back in because the number you were going to see is still lower than the number in the budget presented to you. And as we get into capital improvement fund and those, you'll see where those changes are.
Okay, so do you have the number 151?
Yes, and so do you. I sent that to you today.
No, I just don't see my...
I'm looking for it, too.
Yeah,
I don't, Mr. Tovo, I do not have it today. Shoot.
That's the capital plan?
I believe it was sent before that, but I'm just checking.
Yeah, Bob, you sent over pages 80, 81, and 82. Let's see if there was anything else. Let's see. Oh, here's page 72. Yeah, it was sent, Stacy, let's see. What was it sent with? That was that one. That was sent with...
Nope, that's not it. Crap.
There was the other email with the deferred charges. I think there was 3 attachments with that one.
Yeah, it was part of those 3 I'm looking for as well.
Yeah,
You know what? It's so funny. Outlook actually hid the 3rd attachment. I had to go into it.
I have it.
Okay, I have it too now. Okay, good.
Mr. Tova, I don't understand what you're saying. If you look at page 71, right? The 00136,471 budget department total is 10,000. So how did you capture the 136,000 or 151,000 somewhere else?
Because there was still $500,000 in there for capital improvements.
So
Not in this line, in the overall budget.
you're moving capital and expense.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is the total number you see in your budget, okay, makes up for what we missed with the pension here, because we still left the capital improvement number high, because we did it at the end of January, not knowing what our capital program was going to be.
Yeah, but you said, but the sheet you sent today, the capital improvement program is still 500,000, and in this budget it's 500,000. So how are you getting money out of that line? Where is the 141,000 coming from?
Capital improvement.
The sheet you sent today has a $500,000 capital improvement line.
I'm just looking for that. Capital improvement fund is at $150,000.
That's in the Excel sheet, correct?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That's in the, is that in the Excel sheet?
That's in the PDF sheet, marked pages 80 to 82.
Okay.
Capital improvement fund was 500 in 18 and 19, and 150 in 20.
That's not what I got.
But
It's the email that you had Sue send us the first thing this morning? Or middle of the day?
No, that was from earlier, yes, I think yesterday.
it might have been Monday.
It's the Edmund sheets. It's the Edmund sheets for pages 80 to 82, the updated sheets.
Mike, it was Monday.
Okay, I have the wrong sheet in front of me.
Okay.
But I'm still not understanding that total in those lines. That line is, so you're saying 80 to 82 changes the capital improvement fund from 500,000 to 140?
Well, actually, it looks like last year for 219, it was 550,000, and this year they're requesting 150,000. Correct, Mr. Togo?
For our down payment on capital projects.
Yes. So, if you don't have it, Mike, I could forward it to you.
I have it.
No, I'm just saying if you don't have it, I don't know if you found the sheet or not. If you don't have
I
it,
just don't understand why we can't, that line was not funded in this budget, and that's all there is to it. And, no matter where we take it from, this department total, we did not include statutory expenses for PERS.
Well, this budget hasn't funded anything.
I'm saying for that line item, for those pension payments, we didn't fund them in this originally. That was the question that was asked by Mr. Ullman, and the response was that it was funded somewhere else. But in that department total, it wasn't funded there.
As I've already explained, when we put it into the workbook, it didn't transfer over to Edmonds. We caught it sometime after that. It is what it is. There was no desire to not show you the number. There was no desire to not budget for it. It was a glitch in the system.
So what is our new total budget, Stacy? Without having 81, 82 in front of me, is it still $14,304,844,000?
just wait 1 second. I have to just scroll down, okay? Okay, so, hold on. Wait, my screen's loading. Just hold on a second.
Somebody's echoing out there. Did somebody move a phone somewhere?
Is that better? Maybe it was me. Sorry.
A little bit, but
So the new total on 82 is the new total for requests is 13,862,465.
13,862, 465, so it went up.
That's the requested amount.
That's the requested amount.
Recommended amount.
Recommended amount. Well, no, it says requested.
And
And then recommended.
right next to it.
Recommended is 14,416,077.
So it went up since the original submission. Because it was 14,304,844, and now we're at 14,416.
So it went up 96. What'd
you say? It was 14,416, 168?
No, 14,416,077.
Thank you.
So it went up 111,233. That's the administration recommended. They requested.
Well, that's not what was presented. That's the new present as of the
Oh,
other.
I know. I'm just saying. And then the requested went up roughly like less than 30,000. So it's 13,862. 13,862. 460 minus 13,839. So the requested went up 292. 23,173.
And we're saying on page 79, the capital improvement fund 902,200 is now 140,000.
Now 150. What page are you on? On page 80.
On page 79, the capital improvement fund, it was 500,000 requested and recommended for 2020. What is it now?
I don't have on 79.
Yeah, on 79, the capital improvement fund.
I don't. Well, this says 80. So is it? Let me just make sure that the account numbers are the same. So 0144902200 was 500, and now it's 150.
So where'd the other 350,000 go? And it went up. That's what I want to know.
3,000. I don't know. I'd have to get the whole thing and compare it. Mr. Tobo, could you download the whole new budget and email it to me, and I can take a look?
Yeah, our goal was to get through as much of this as we can, so we can do that and, give you a more accurate number.
Wait.
But Mr. Tobo, what I'm saying is if you use your logic, what you were saying about the capital improvement fund going from 500 to 150, there's $350,000 and the budget went up. And I don't understand how something could get reduced by 350. So there's 200,000 somewhere else that we don't see.
Well, remember, there's also the adjustments not showing it here that we made on the solid waste as well. So the number has definitely gone down.
As of tonight, it went down, but not as of your running.
Yeah, but I see what he's saying. I think we have to wait for him to make the adjustments to the other numbers, Councilman DeSena, to see really where we stand and where the other money went to, because I have the same question. But I think, there were some items that were changed. Practically, we think we need the new number
One
in.
at a time.
If you have $500,000 and you reduce it by 100,
Councilman, you need to speak up a little bit.
No, Councilman DeSena, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why I asked Mr. Tobo if he could provide us with the new budget as of right now, so that we can figure out where the numbers are coming from compared to what we have. I think that's the only way we're going to move forward, is to get the details in front of us. Because, we can't, we're not going to do it, we're not going to be able to do it just sitting here discussing it. Honestly, we need the paperwork.
and I'm telling you right now, I won't be comfortable Tuesday night with getting it on Monday, making a decision for Tuesday. So I'd like to see us ask for an extension now and not wait till Tuesday.
I'll take that for advisement.
Yes, please.
Mr. Tobo, could you get us if you put some of these changes in, could you get us a download of the full budget by tomorrow by 5 p.m.? Because I really think that I would really like to get a look to see what the new numbers look like with the changes we've made.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, so we'll have it tomorrow by 5 p.m.
Correct.
Okay. And then I think we'll be able to know, and then I will be able to take a look and see exactly where we stand and what we need to do.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to take one quick look. Just hold on one second. Nobody jump ship yet.
So we're not doing anything with that PERS on the old, we're gonna wait until it's all rerun?
No, we have the new pages, we have to approve it, but,
So I'll go back to these then.
okay, so I just wanted to go back to my page. What was that page? That was what, 72? Yes. Okay, 71. Okay, so you said it was 151. I'm sorry. I closed my page.
It's 141, 183, and then 10,000 for DCRP, so 141, 183.
I thought it was 151. 141.
151. I had 151.
Yeah, but it's counting that 10,000, see, that's what I think they did, is add the 10,000 in, because you had the
And we already
DCRP.
the 10,000 to 8,000 last meeting.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I have. Okay, so, okay. All right, just hold on. Let me just open my pages. Hold on one second.
The pension adjustment for PERS, 471,
That was just today
a
those
good
numbers
number.
came in, correct?
Yes. So they talked about 151. You're saying, Faith?
Yeah, that was today, right?
Yeah, that was today.
That's my, I lost my email. Okay.
right, but I'm confused now, I know.
Next, so I'm gonna call you tomorrow to go over this.
Yeah, but you know what, it's a different line number.
No, it is, but I'll talk to you about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Crap.
So what do we make?
Hey, can you read me the number that you have? You have it open. So 3647100. What do you have?
364710000.
Yes.
The one that's on the old one,
No. Desiree, do you have it open?
it's
Yeah, but I
471.
had just captured. I just wrote 151. I was writing it as they were saying.
Oh, you were. Okay.
But it's a different line number, that's what I'm saying to you.
No, I know it's a different line number.
So it's 141, 183.
And that's in line with last year's 138, 831. So that makes kind of sense.
Okay, and then we had reduced the pension to 8,000 based upon conversations with Mr. Tobo. Mr. Tobo, are you still in agreement with the 8,000?
I am.
So is everybody good with the 141, 183? Okay, I'm going to take silence as yes, and the 8,000 is
Well, the administration has got to recommend it because they recommended 0, so they have to recommend it, Stacy.
No, he did. When he sent the email, it's on the email.
It's got to be official. So
Okay, so can we make it official?
Paying that amount.
Okay, so they're making the recommendation. Is everybody good with it?
for 141, 183.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and then, all right, so the rest of it was already approved. Okay, so I wanted to just look at the rest of the open and see if there was anything we could just pick up quickly.
I have stuff on 72 and 73 that needs to still go on. 74, 75.
No, I have those too. It's 9 o'clock. I'm just trying to, I know Desiree's tired. She's had a full day at work, so I'm trying to just see if there's something we can go for. That's
Me too. I've had a full day of retirement.
Touche.
Mr. Tovo, on page 72, you were going to get us the breakdown of how that 220 was calculated. You said we'd have it for today. We still didn't get it. For
No, the
FICA.
FICA, we got an email, I thought, about FICA and Medicare.
I didn't see one. I didn't get one.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
When?
Hold on.
I don't remember. I'm searching it now.
Emergency, that's that one.
I had the FICA one today. FICA.
Do we all get it? What time?
You know what? I don't see it either.
I'm thinking it was the deferred charges, I'm sorry. That's the one I was thinking of, that was broken
Yeah,
down.
I don't
the
have it.
deferred? Mr. Tovo, did you send that out or no?
No, my recollection wasn't that you wanted a breakdown. It was verifying whether or not the number was enough.
No, we wanted
overspent it. Can't hear you, Mr. Zano.
Thank you.
No, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'd like to see the calculation, please.
Well, wait a minute. Mr. Tova, your recollection was you were going to verify if the number was correct.
Correct. If $220,000 was sufficient, and part two of that is why was there no money in the Affordable Care Act? As you can see, there has not been, because there's no obligation on the municipality to fund that.
Right. So that's why that's zero. And then, okay, so you're going to, so we can't approve we can't approve FICA and Medicare because you want to see a breakdown?
Yes, please. I mean, we underfunded it by a lot last year, and now we're raising it another 30,000. So I'd like to see how we're coming up with that calculation, please.
Is it okay if we use the 220 number to get you the numbers you want for tomorrow?
Yeah, we have to make some assumptions here. We're going to give you a full budget run with a new number.
Yeah, that would be fine. I mean, yeah, and we can always adjust. That would just, yeah, at least if the numbers are there, they're fine, Mr. Mayor. It's just when they're zero,
Yeah.
they're not accounted for.
Yeah, no, just wanted to make sure.
No, the FICA and Medicare was funded. It's the Affordable Care Act is zero.
Yeah, which we yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying in other lines, like, you know, if we're missing a first payment or something, you know.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. The Affordable Care Act is going to stay zero. Okay, so we're good with the 220 right now. You're just going to get us the details. Okay. The remaining items that I have open that maybe we can talk about. Hold on one second. I'm just getting to my email. Okay, the other item that I had open I think that was it on 73. I think on 74.
Well, 73, we have Municipal Alliance match. We didn't do that one. We have Municipal Alliance grant share. We didn't do that one. Which, I mean, they're standards, so they're not big deals, but they're open.
Okay. We're on 73. I don't see anything left on 73.
Municipal Alliance match, right in the middle?
Yeah, 41702-200 and 41703-200, Stacy.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay. All right, so let's start with the first one.
Good.
Which number, which line item was that?
We're halfway down, Municipal Alliance match. It's 1425, Desiree.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm not 100% sure. Is this the budget line that Sigma Free comes from? Mr. Tolga, would you know that?
I'd have to check the audit trail. I didn't. Can I check and get back to you so we don't?
Sure. Because I just want to make sure we have enough in there for when we have our when we have what we need.
If we go down to 703-200, you'll see there's a bit of a balancing act here because the state reduced our funding, so we tried to bring the share up a little bit so that there would be funding for those programs.
Okay.
That's why you see that increase there.
Okay, so for that line, we've got 11,876. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to say that just because of the COVID virus and all the pandemic has brought a tremendous amount of mental health issues, just tremendously, and it's only going to impact more. We're going to need to have a lot more services for our town. We're going to have to be available more than we've been. The need is going to be huge. So I just want to make sure we have, enough in there to cover the Sigma Free initiative. I don't know what that cost is going to be. I really don't.
Well, maybe we have to, okay. We may have to revisit it in the future then. We need more.
Yep. Yeah.
For something as important as mental health, we could always find it later if we had to.
Okay.
Okay. That's my personal opinion. I mean.
Yeah, that's why I said we may need to revisit it later.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's fine. So leave the 11,000. Okay, so that leaves those.
Mr. Tovo, should they track that as FEMA reimbursable?
Is mental health FEMA reimbursable? I didn't.
Yeah, that was my question. Should we track it so this way, if it's reimbursable, we can get reimbursed for it?
I would think it would be reimbursable if it were employee related.
I believe the conversations for that, Councilman DeSena, that is it's directly related to an employee. FEMA says they'll reimburse it, but I don't know if residents who've been impacted would be, but it's not, you could track it, I'm sure.
Okay.
But FEMA
we
has,
also would
it's still
probably,
reimbursed for employees.
It doesn't matter
qualify
if it's
for-
or not. It doesn't matter. We need to pay for it, but I just
Right, but
wanted-
if you look at the
But that's
FEMA
also
guidelines, it does say employees.
That's also where the grants would come in handy. We have to really work with the grant writer for that because there's a lot available for that.
Yeah. Okay, so the next line item that I have is, did we finish the grant for the,
Yeah, you're on the bottom of 74.
yeah, the bottom of 74.
Okay.
Okay, the clean communities, oh no, that's 0.
No, the one
75.
before, recycling tonnage grant.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so 20,000. I'm good.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
That page. Okay, the next one I have is on page 79. Actually, does anybody have anything open on 79? I think I might have this wrong.
Yeah, the capital improvement fund. is
Capital
open
improvement
for-
fund?
No, before that. I had something else before that.
I have public defender already finished.
You do? Okay, for the 5,400? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, for the 3,400? Okay.
And then 250 for prosecutor change of venue. We have that one approved.
Right, okay, so I just didn't have the markers done. Okay,
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, we did those.
okay, good. Okay, so the next is, do we want to start this or do we want to hold this for Tuesday?
I just like an explanation how it went from 500 to 150. That's all.
That's why I'm asking, is everybody done or should we start on Tuesday? Everybody good or should we hold this section since it's going to be a bigger section for Tuesday?
Stacy, you
Hold
still?
it for Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right.
Stacy, which number do you want us to use? Because it's a big difference. 500 versus 150. Which one do you want in the numbers we're preparing for tomorrow?
Well, the latest budget pages have the 150.
Yes, so that's what you want us to use?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But what were we going to buy with the other 350,000 in capital improvement before we make that decision? I'd like to see what you took out, Mr. Mayor.
Bob can correct me. I think it was just a placeholder at the time until we knew where capital was headed. So it was an approximation until we had the capital.
Correct.
Okay, so starting Tuesday, 7 o'clock, we're going to start with this section right here.
Meaning where the ambulance is? The reserve for ambulance, Stacy?
Cap improvement fund.
Okay,
So page 79, halfway down, sort of.
okay.
Very good.
Okay, and then the to-do is, Mr. Tovo, you're going to get us the new pages tomorrow for the whole budget?
That is correct.
Okay. Would the council be okay with Mr. Tovo emailing it to everyone so that we don't have to have it delivered?
Yeah.
That's a good
Can
idea.
we have it printed? Can we have it printed out so we can pick it up?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, I would be good with that too, but I don't want to have, I don't think we need to have it delivered.
Well,
I agree.
yeah, but it's
So
gonna,
then, who wants to pick it up and who wants it emailed?
but where are you gonna pick it up?
We'll pick it up at, I guess, the police station since the offices are closed. But Mr. Tovo, are you going to be in the office in order to get it printed out? That's the other question. Are you going to be home?
No, I'm going to come in and do it.
Okay, all right, so just to make sure. Okay, should we just have one copy for everybody to pick up, or we'll just have it emailed and printed? What does everybody want?
I'd like it
What?
printed, please.
Print it and put it in the Dropbox.
You can't get in the Dropbox without a key.
How are we going to get it out?
Hello.
They'll be at the police desk.
Okay, all right, so just
All right.
a copy for everybody, and then we'll pick it up. Mr. Cummings, do you want me to pick yours up?
If you don't mind.
I don't mind, no problem.
Thank you. Very kind.
You're welcome. Does anybody else need theirs picked up and dropped off?
No, thank you.
I get it. Thank you.
Guys, are you,
What time, I'm good. I'm off tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Are we doing a library? Is there a plan for the library tomorrow?
So we're going to do a virtual tour, and we're going to work to schedule with Laura so we can all be on the whatever, Zoom, WebEx, what have you.
A virtual, okay.
Virtual, and then if...
I thought we were visiting. No visits?
Well, we're going to try virtual, and if it still needs to be, it'll be like, you know, if you're not have additional questions and want to see, then you'll have to arrange it with Laura yourself. That's what we're going to do.
Okay. What time tomorrow and where?
I don't know yet. I have to reach out to Laura. Please just look at your emails.
Okay.
Might not be tomorrow. It might be next week.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
Well, if we're trying to prove this by Tuesday, that's going to make it even harder to make that Tuesday date.
I get it. I'm doing the best I can with scheduling.
I know. Okay.
So,
Okay.
anybody else have anything they'd like to discuss?
Can I make a suggestion?
We're going to end I think we're going to end the meeting. I'll talk to you after.
No, it's about, do you want to schedule maybe one extra meeting next week?
Oh,
Just
sure.
in case you need it to bounce back, like maybe Thursday night again, if that's good, just in case you need it as a fallback?
I would try to do Wednesday so we could move along as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So
I have to
is
advertise
anybody going anywhere great Wednesday, or are we all still staying home?
Wednesday's good
I'm
for me.
working I'll be working
Wednesday
probably
is on.
until about 7, so if
What about Thursday? Is that better?
Thursday better?
I'm crazy with work all week, so
Okay.
anytime after 7, I'll be available. Just
So let's move, so Tuesday, are we set for 7 or 7:30?
7 o'clock for Tuesday, but the other one we could do for 7:30 if you want.
Yeah, so let's do Wednesday, 7:30.
that's better.
Okay.
So are you going to be okay for Tuesday at 7 or no?
Tuesday at 7. Yeah, I'll be okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Stacy.
Wednesday, 7:30.
Wednesday, 7:30, Tuesday at 7.
And do we have anything else Monday or
We
No,
can't do
we-
Monday. Mr. Toffel can't be
Doing
there.
Monday.
Sunday? Anything? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
My dear, good night.
All right.
We have a motion to close?
Motion to adjourn meeting? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
John,
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
thank you very much. Good night, all. Safe and healthy.